welcome to Rosie Rourke's Roundtable. I love to highlight businesses that have been really great business partners for the Rosie Rourke team. And today I'm with Brad Robinson, and he's with Robinson Craft Solar and United Solar. And he's going to tell us a little bit about how he got started and what's solar all about. I mean, I feel like solar is like this huge trending word that people are getting into right now. And I'm fascinated by it. And I know that a lot of folks that are in real estate thinking of buying and selling, they ask me about solar, and I say, that is over
not a lot of people see the home
head. And call Brad. He is like the expert. So how did you even get into solar?
So I started on the dirty side of energy. Honestly, I was an engineer. I was going to oil fields of all things, but I knew that that was not the way of the future. People are getting laid off every 2 or 3 years, and solar is this consistent growth industry. So opportunity popped up, and I joined up with a local company, and the rest is history for the last few years.
So I had an idea that solar was simply trying to figure out if you could put solar on someone's roof and if it's going to work. But after getting to know you more, what I really learned is it's all about the energy efficiency in their home. Is it solar? Is it something else? Solar is just one aspect of what you do, correct?
Yeah, it is, because we live here in Renton and Fairwood, and a lot of houses need other upgrades as well too. And so we can use the incentives for solar to take care of your electrical panel. If you're in one of the pockets that lose powers a lot, we can take care of hooking up a generator and a battery and tie all these systems together that you might be looking at anyway. And later on this year, there's going to be some really big incentives coming. I mean, they apply to everybody installing this year, which is good. But right now, state and federal will get about 40% back. You might be able to get even a couple thousand on top of that, depending on income level. Yeah.
So I hear from a lot of folks, we're in Washington State. There's not a lot of sunshine. Right. It still works here, right?
It absolutely works. Probably over 2/3 of the time we get rid of all the electric bill for someone. So I don't want them to say there's zero concern about that, but that's usually based on the fact that there's just way too much shade, and we'll be upfront with people about that. Or some people just use a ton of power, but I can still help out with that. Maybe I can cover 60% of the power solar. This is what I did with my own home, but then we can put things in to monitor usage, to reduce how much power the house is actually using, and just make people aware that, like, okay, maybe it's worth covering this much right now because you've got 3 teenagers that are moving out, and that's going to drop down in the future. There's different strategies.
So it really puts you not in a sales job, as it's a consulting and advising on the energy efficiency of someone's home, looking at it from top to bottom, and what's the best thing we can do for that client to save money.
Yes. In the end, I do the design. I'm helping out with financing. I do wear the sales hat. In the end, I'm asking people to spend money. The lines out there, you can go solar for free, is not true. But because of good financing, I can have people cut off the electric bill, and you're switching to paying back the value of your home. We've talked about it a bit. Solar in Washington State should add 4.1% to the value of your home, and doesn't hit your property tax either. So there's equity return.
And I only deal with straight shooters, people that are honest and ethical and loyal. And those are such hard qualities to find in contractors. I'm not going to lump them all in one bucket, but it's a challenge for us. And for me to be able to endorse you to our clients, I just want everyone to know that you're the real deal.
We don't want to be like that general contractor who needs a 500 here, 1,000 here.
Right, trying to hit a target.
It should only happen if somebody has a structural surprise, and quite honestly, around this area, we don't have that very often. We have very well-built homes in the immediate area, so that's a good side that we don't see too often.
Does it cost money for you to go out and consult with them on the energy efficiency?
No. If we're, especially if it's just an initial visit, giving somebody a rundown, this is how it works and things like that. We just, it's a two-way street though. We ask people respectful of your time. It's like, hey, we're going to send an engineer out because you do have a roof problem. If we need an electrician to come in and assess something really unique, let's make sure that, we understand what we're getting into first. But that's the reason I do, face-to-face service and stuff. The over-the-internet thing doesn't work.
A little bit of a light bulb moment for me when I was talking to you one day, probably a year ago, is you said, before somebody replaces their roof, like it's time to replace it, before you do that, talk to you. Because maybe it's part roof, part solar panel.
I mean, we have financing in the 5s right now without buying down with points. You want to go get a roof from the bank or get a loan to cover that roof, it's probably going to be around 10%. So, and we work with the HOAs around here. We know what the standards are. So, if you've got to use that presidential or particular type of metal, we can accommodate that too.
So what you do is actually a little more complicated than just solar.
Yeah.
And how would they be able to get in touch with you to learn more about how they can have you come into their home and figure it out?
Yeah, up front, I tell people you can call me directly. The main business number for this area is my cell number. It's 206-465-4539. You can go to RobinsonCraft.info as well, or people can just send me an email directly. BradRCR@Comcast.net, like Brad Robinson Craft Roofing at Comcast.net. But yeah, it's easier over the phone. The questions can be very complicated, and rather than writing a paragraph, I can answer you real quick. Because I realize now may not be the time for everybody for solar. There are some incentives going away. I do warn people about that. But let's not spend a week emailing back and forth if it could be a 5-minute touch point.
Perfect. All right. Easy as that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you.